Hey guys, welcome back to the Tipsy Ghosts. We are your tipsy hosts, Sarah, and Lindsey.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Guess what?
What?
It's spooky season.
Ooh. Do you mean Spooky Susan?
That's me.
Spooky season is here with spooky season.
Yes.
For those of you who don't remember, I told them last year that everybody shortens Spooky Season to SZN. And my brain always read it as Spooky Susan.
Which is Boydson's now drunk girl nickname.
I was without a nickname and now I have one.
And it's perfectly fitting, and I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We came in here to record, and Spooky Susan has some spooky pillows.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm holding a spooky pillow of skeletons in my lap.
For the Spooky Season.
For the spooky season. How many times? Take a drink every time we say the word spooky.
Gosh, unless you're driving. Don't do that. Don't do that. What?
Lucy just totally dove for the pillow and missed. I was sprawled out. Sorry, Lucy.
Oh.
My poor dog. She's going to be 15 in just 10 days.
I couldn't see her.
She sprawled out.
Aww.
And she's almost, well, she's not totally blind. She's got some cataracts, but she is deaf. And so now we've had to do sign language with her.
I know. You told me to sign for her to come inside. But she can't see me.
Exaggerated movements.
Yeah.
But she can't see me.
She turned around.
She can see you more than she can hear you.
That's how our dog was. He was blind and deaf, and he didn't see us, nothing. He would walk right past us, and my dad would have to put his hand in front of his face to stop him, and he'd sniff and be like, "Oh, there's my family."
Oh, you're still here.
Yeah, he only knew us by sense.
Well, I apologize for my little cough. I've got a little extra vocal fry tonight.
Vocal fry.
Vocal fry with a extra fry on the side.
Did you get fries with that?
I got some fries with my vocal fry.
I was going to say, do you have ranch for those?
Oh.
Or garlic aioli dipping sauce?
Whoa.
For my vocal fries.
So fancy.
For your fries.
I was ketchup.
I like them all.
Garlic aioli, please.
I like a plethora of dipping sauces, please.
Spooky Susan is bougie.
Only
Yes,
with
she
my
is.
food. It's a problem.
And wine.
Anyway, what are we talking about this week?
We're talking about Cowtown.
Cowtown.
In Wichita, Kansas. AKA haunted ghost investigation.
Well, why don't I tell you guys about it?
Tell me about Cowtown.
Well, as Lindsey just stole my thunder, it is in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh gosh, I was how did I
That's my
steal your
opening
thunder?
sentence.
God damn it, Lindsay.
So sorry for saying
Oh,
where
my-
we went.
My real big opener.
Ooh.
Is that where it
Wichita?
was?
ICT.
For those of you who don't know, Wichita is in south central Kansas.
Why are you looking at me like that?
What'd you say?
The abbreviation for Wichita, they call it ICT.
Oh.
Like itch?
Like ICT. ICT.
Icked.
But they don't say ICT.
Why do they call it icked?
Does it have an airport? Is that its airport's name?
Yeah, the airport is. No, the airport's Eisenhower because it is the birthplace of Dwight D. Eisenhower, our president.
That was her next line, Lindsay.
God damn it.
Was it really?
No.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I used to live in Wichita. Does it show?
Had you been to Old Cowtown?
I had in the daytime,
Mm-hmm.
not at night to do, and I did not know it was haunted until
Took on
we
a
booked
whole
it.
new life at nighttime.
Did. And I was not into haunting ghosts when I lived there, so I did
Haunting
not
ghosts?
hunting. So I didn't even know it was haunted.
Well, turns out it was your loss.
Is it? Because I got to go.
That was aggressive.
All right. So here we are. We're in Wichita, Kansas.
Yes, we are.
And Lindsay gave more history on Wichita than I was planning to do. I only wrote it was founded in 1865. And Cowtown was built to resemble the town during these times. In 1955, the Old Cowtown Museum opened up to the public. The intent was to help educate the people about the history of Wichita. It tells the story of Wichita's Cattletown era, which is the era that put Wichita on the map and allowed it to grow into a thriving city. Would you say it was a thriving city when you lived there?
Another fun fact, Wichita is the biggest town in Kansas.
Of course it is.
Because most of Kansas City's on the Missouri side, so it's bigger than Kansas City, Kansas.
But it's a city, right? Or is it a town?
What's the difference between a
There's
city
a
and a town?
difference. Don't ask me what it is.
What?
Cities are bigger.
Let's say it's a city then, because it's pretty big.
I'll have to look it up later, but I know there's a difference.
Okay.
But I thought that there was like some catch to it, like it's the biggest town. Anyhow, here we are.
It is.
Cowtown is a collection of nearly 54 historic and recreated buildings. It includes a farm and outbuildings, and they are all on 23 acres of land off the Chisholm Trail. Am I saying that right?
Chisholm.
Yes. Nearly 30 of the buildings on the property are original 19th century historic structures that have been preserved and relocated. The buildings house more than 12,000 items dated from period and ranging from farm wagons to teaspoons. So basically there's a wide variety of things to see in all of the different buildings. It also has some live animals on the property, which we were not able to see, unfortunately. But apparently there are horses, a cow, goats, and chicken. I said chicken.
Just one chicken. There's just one.
I didn't even catch that. I was like, yeah, sure, a chicken.
We did see a cat.
I've been working all day. It's really tough for me to read right now. Chicken. Just one little chicken running around.
Yep.
And a cat.
We'll get to that cat later, yeah.
If you do go and see the buildings, you'll notice pretty much right away that they're all very well preserved and pretty much all in great shape. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just take you through the buildings that we went to. Because if you want to go check out all the history on all of the buildings, you can go to their website. And some of them don't have history associated with them, but some of them do. So if you're curious, go look at, they have a map and a really good history on some of the buildings there. But the hardest part for me was remembering, number one, where we went to. And then we would call it like the theater. But in Cowtown, it's called Empire Hall. So I had to like remember where we were on the map and like go. That was a struggle. But I did it.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So, okay, we went to Empire Hall, and we called it the theater. The structure was built in 1904 and is believed to have been located at 816 East Murdoch in Wichita. It served as a grocery store before being donated to Cowtown in 1960, and at the museum, it served as a restaurant and dinner theater in the Empire Hall exhibit gallery. And now it's used as the volunteer/interpreter building.
So I have the recordings from the theater, or Empire Hall.
Yes.
And the devices used there by the group that was leading were a static detector, a yes or no box, a laser grid, flashlights, and a cat ball.
We brought out all the tools.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
So there were just a couple of things that I thought were interesting. So just a few minutes into the recording, you hear a sigh and then a whisper that I think says, "Keep smiling."
Huh.
And it was around the same time they were talking about the performers on the stage, or maybe showgirls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was almost like it, I don't know, triggered something. There were flashlight responses. Mm-hmm. There were a few kind of indistinguishable whispers that sometimes people would hear and catch. Sometimes I heard on the recorder, but I couldn't hear what they actually said. There's a man that saw a red light in the corner. On the recording, there's a popping noise and then a flashlight response. And someone points out that the angle of the flashlight changed too, like it had been moved.
Oh, okay.
Someone says they were touched, and then Lindsey comes in and says, "Bullshit."
I am a joy always.
And next, there, I think it's fairly loud. It's EVP. It says no.
Oh, like
just
drawn
on
out.
ours?
Yes.
And we were sitting near the back, so
we were.
I had the recorder, of course, and we're sitting near the back. So, I mean, there's nobody there that was being loud. Like, we were all trying to be quiet.
I don't remember hearing anything in real time.
Honestly, our group was, we usually get the hardcores in the group, but our group was pretty chill.
They were pretty quiet. Which also, it was the first place we went, so people were probably shy and not wanting to talk.
Sure. Just a couple other things. About 8.5 minutes in, someone else in the room says that it's over there now, touching my friend. Lindsey didn't comment on that one, but we can just assume.
She's thinking it.
I bet you can just see me rolling my eyes.
Yes. And
We've
then
been in a place 5 minutes into an investigation. You're like, something's touching me. I'm going to call bullshit.
and then somebody across the room, oh no, it's over here. It's like, it doesn't work like that, but okay.
I remember why I didn't say anything because the people who were
they
saying,
were right next to us.
They were right next to us, so
Yes.
I couldn't comment without them hearing me calling bullshit.
Couldn't say bullshit.
Finally, there was a group said that they heard a noise in the room they thought was maybe the piano, but I did not hear it on the recorder.
I remember that people were hearing like a banging noise, like backstage.
And
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
debunked that, yeah.
Oh, she did? What
Yeah,
did she say
she
was?
turned off something.
Okay. I remember hearing banging noises or
A
something. I remember
fridge,
her
a light,
going back.
maybe. Oh, well, that was on the other side. The one that was over on our side, yes, there was banging.
Okay. That she did not debunk, or she did?
She debunked the one on the other side. Actually, she debunked the red light.
I
The
remember her
banging,
turning
she
off
did
the
not.
lights.
Yes.
Okay. So we did hear banging.
Mhm.
I remember that. Did you hear that in the recording, or
No.
no? Okay.
Honestly, that's more than I remember happening. For some reason, I felt like there was like nothing going on in that.
So that was the theater. Did we ever return to the theater?
We did. We went back on our own. So we did, we were with a really big group.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
At least. And they split us up into smaller groups,
Yeah.
obviously. But at the end of the night is when, just like many of the ghost hunts we go on, they let you kind of go off and do whatever you want. So we did go back there on our own. We were only there for like 10 minutes before another group came in, so we left. Yeah. I remember I sat on the stage. We had flashlights set out. I don't think we got any flashlight responses.
Mm-mm.
We weren't really feeling anything then.
Yeah, I think that was part of the hard thing about this location is that there were so many buildings and so many people. Like, you feel like that there should be enough room for everybody to spread out. And there is, in a way. Like, if you wanted to go to the theater, then like 10 minutes later, somebody might come in. And then when somebody else is in the one building, then you feel like you have to leave because you can't really. Yeah. And you feel like you can't really catch anything when there's lots of people asking questions and stuff.
Right.
All right. Next up, I have the drugstore. The J.P. Allen Drugstore represents the pharmaceutical and medical practice of the 1870s. The downstairs drugstore was operated by J.P. Allen. The front retail area contained the medicines, liquors, paint? Question mark? That's what it said. Window glass and related medical items. It also contains the soda fountain that was dispensing quote-unquote health drinks that were carbonated.
Okay.
The back area contains the prescription lab with the red glass screen that prevented customers from being able to sneak a peek at what they were doing.
Interesting.
The second floor contains the office of Dr. Fabrique and dental office. Medical conditions and practices during the late 19th century were inconsistent, inexact, and unregulated. 19th century physicians such as Dr. Allen and Dr. Fabrique faced many challenges in their practices as they struggled against home remedies and patent medicines.
Okay.
So let's go there next.
So yeah, the devices they were using there were a cat ball as well, and then the Phasma box, which we have touched on before. It's essentially what it is an app, and it's hooked up to a speaker, and spirits can just communicate. They can say words. It's not like a constant, radio scan where all you hear is white noise and then some words. It's just words.
Right.
And they're kind of echoey. It can be pretty spooky.
Yeah, I like that one.
So some of the questions that were asked on the Phasma box were, how many friends do I have here with me? And they said a lot.
True.
We need a doctor. And they responded in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a man or woman? They said, I'm a man. How old are you? 29. Pretty early on, there was a loud thud upstairs.
Yeah.
And
we all heard that.
People went up there and there's nobody up there.
Right.
Like a couple people went up to investigate and they're like, there's nobody here. We don't know what fell, but I mean, everybody heard the loud thud.
Right.
A couple of times, actually maybe 3 times, there was an evil laugh that you could hear through the Phasma box. Yeah. Something fairly interesting, a couple of things, is someone said, can you bark like a dog? And it said, woof. And
He
then
says, I'll show you.
Woof woof.
And then it's funny you say that because it called somebody a bitch.
I do remember that.
And according to the guy, there are no cuss words in the dictionary of the Phasma box. So for it to say the word bitch,
must have really meant it.
it must have.
That Phasma box is rated G.
Not
PG,
anymore.
maybe.
Yeah.
It's rated R now.
And then towards the end of the time that we were there, the cat ball went off just
Yes.
right in front of everybody.
It did. It was on the floor, and it just went off like a couple times while we were just talking with other people in the group. We weren't even like trying to get anything from, the spirits. We were just hanging out, and it went off.
Yeah, and all the lights were on. We were just
the lights were on in this place.
Chit-chatting.
Yeah. And then we returned to the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yes, and I had that audio from when we went privately. We went up to the
second floor.
Yeah, second floor, which is just like doctor's and dentist's office.
Yeah.
And I sat on the ground, and you guys sat in chairs, and we kind of formed like a little triangle. And you pulled out your app, which we weren't really getting anything off of it. It's very, very creepy, though. Yours is a little bit different because it says the words backwards, right?
Oh, yes, that box. It's the magic box.
It's the new one, yeah.
Yes, it does. It says
creepy.
gibberish.
Listening to that on a recording, I was like, this is scary.
It is kind of scary.
But we didn't get anything really from that. But I was feeling a cold draft the entire time on my left thigh. And I was sitting on the ground and sitting like, what do they say now? Crisscross applesauce? Not Indian style.
Yes.
Okay.
Crisscross.
So I was sitting crisscross applesauce, and I could feel it.
Say it so seriously. Crisscross applesauce.
I was sitting crisscross applesauce.
I know.
I had shorts on, and I was feeling like a cold draft like on my left thigh underneath. So like there would be a vent underneath blowing up is what it felt like. And it was very hot and stuffy in this room. Very hot and stuffy outside.
Right.
I mean, this is August in the Midwest.
Kansas, yes.
It's miserable.
You did your darndest to try and debunk it.
I really tried to debunk it for like 15 minutes. I listened to me trying to debunk it. Like and there was like a vent up on the ceiling, and I kept looking at it, and I was like waving my hand and wasn't feeling the air from there. So I don't know where the air was coming from. Boydson, you were sitting towards my left, a little behind me, and you weren't feeling anything.
Nope.
And at one point, I even got up and I was like, "Feel my thigh."
Yes,
and we all touched your thigh.
And I put in my notes, "Like a true friend." I was like, "Feel this thigh, now feel this thigh."
And we did.
And they did.
We touched your face.
One was hot and sweaty. One was cold, like cold and clammy skin. So I don't know what it was, but it was just very cold on that thigh.
By default, that was my favorite place.
Because you got to touch my thigh.
Yes.
Yes.
We can go with that. Also because it was just set up like an old drugstore, an old doctor's office.
They had medical textbooks.
Yeah, they had so many.
It was like a little waiting room area.
In my recording, it was like Lindsay was holding it.
Yes.
And she just grabbed Sarah and she's like, "Sarah, where's Boydston? Look at all these books." And they just like, "Yeah, Boydston. And like in front of everybody. I'm like, "Yes." Like Lindsay, like, "Look at these books." It's like,
I love books.
Well, I love medical.
I know. I wanted to
medical
share
books.
it with you because
it was
how much you
amazing.
love that.
I said my bag's not big enough, so
So funny.
Okay, are we ready to move on?
Yep.
We are going to go to Fritz Schnitzler's Saloon.
Say that 5 times fast.
I cannot.
Fritz Schnitzler, Fritz Schnitzler, Fritz Schnitzler.
You're doing
That's
a
three.
really great job.
It was only 3.
How come every time I say that 5 times fast, she's always the one to jump on?
And I'm like,
trying
no.
to make an effort.
All right. Well, the building was built in 1885 and is representative of a false front wood frame structure of the mid-19th century. It originally functioned as the Rockford Township Hall and was moved to the museum in 1966. That is all I got for you on the history of that one.
So this is the saloon. This is the can place, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I'm there.
Yeah, so the devices that they used here were a REM pod and a light-up bear, and also a recorder. We went around and did a couple of EVP sessions. I don't think that we got much, and they wanted to do kind of a trigger event, and so they asked for a couple of volunteers to do the can.
I forgot.
And I told
Sarah's
Lindsay,
the worst here.
I was like, "Lindsay, go up and do the can,"
Struggle.
because Lindsay was like, "I know how to can," and I was just impressed by it. And I was like, "Well, then go up there and do it." And she's like, "Are you asking if I can do the can?" And then I responded, "Get out. Get out right now."
So funny. I did not do the can.
No,
the
she
fuck outta here.
refused. And then you tried to say that their can music was wrong. And I was like, "No, this is a can." And then it finally got to the can part, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's
It didn't
it."
sound right at first, okay?
I think it was hilarious.
Lindsay did not do the can.
I did not. I did other, when it's not really a dance, but we did our little showdown in the...
Oh, yes. I've been waiting to post that one.
Yes.
Until
we will show you guys. We made a TikTok in Cowtown.
That's all I got in this one.
boy.
I didn't get... Their air conditioning was on, and so I couldn't hear a thing.
So some of these buildings did have AC. Some of them did not. So, like, I know we said earlier, the drug store that we were at did not have AC. But this place did. A few other places did. So,
yeah.
Kind of messed with our recordings a little.
Hello, Twisted Humans! Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. We're bringing the most intense stories that will keep you up at night.
Join us every Tuesday for a glass of wine and a dose of true crime. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
All right, well, I'm going to move on to the Gill Mortuary.
Oh.
Or what we refer to as the funeral home.
The funeral home.
And shockingly, there is no history on the website for this building.
Oh, okay.
But I had the recording here. And I apologize. I did not, call out the different types of devices that they used.
It was a last-minute decision. I
like it. And I'm feeling a little bit jealous here.
They did use a recorder, I remember.
Well, yes. They used a recorder.
Yes.
And actually, I think we caught an EVP that they said, "Do you need help?" And all I can hear is like a humming noise right afterwards.
Do you need help?
So we caught it, but they also caught it, I guess, on their recorders.
I remember them talking about catching it, yeah.
And at a different time, they hear a whisper on their recorder when they reviewed it back, but I can't hear it on ours. And this building was cool. There was the pews, set up, and then there was a little back room behind where they would have the body or the I almost said patient, but they're not patients.
They had it set up as an office now, and then they had an old fashioned horse-drawn hearse.
Yes,
there too.
Oh, yeah. So they sent people back there to do
by themselves
their own session, but I don't really think that they got much either. As far as the recording goes, it was a little bit tricky because there was not AC in this building, but they opened the door, and holy smokes,
it was so loud.
It was, number one, the door was so loud.
It was very squeaky, yeah.
Ear bleeding. Oh my gosh. And it opened and closed probably 3 or 4 times in that recording, but the locusts outside were so loud, and the crickets, it was so loud. I could not hear anything once they opened the door. So I do think we caught one pretty cool thing in there.
Yeah.
And at one point somebody's stomach growled, and Lindsay called them out. And she said, Don't worry, we're not gonna be mad. Just claim it, okay? Just claim it. And nobody's saying anything, and Lindsay's harassing whoever's stomach's growling.
God, Karen.
And I'm like, oh my God.
I'm so sorry. I don't remember that at all.
It was really funny. Just claim it. Claim it or blame it.
Gosh, I'm the worst.
No, it was hilarious.
I'm the worst. Why are you guys friends with me?
The funniest part is this building was really small, so we were all packed.
We were all crammed into the pews together.
It was louder than everybody. Blame it or blame it.
Listen, I just want to make sure this is not a demonic growl.
Oh, so anyways, that was the funeral home.
And then we did go there afterwards as well, privately. I think we were the only ones in that building when we went privately, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we did an EVP session in there. We didn't use the spirit box or anything. I don't remember getting anything. I don't remember feeling anything.
No, I mean, it's a cool building.
Yeah.
But not much activity going on there.
Nope. Just took some pictures. I don't remember getting many orbs either. I was taking pictures too. I don't remember getting many orbs there either. Or at the previous places we've been.
We'll still post all of our
pics. Yeah, we will.
All right. Let's move on to the Murdoch house.
Okay.
In 1874, Marshall Murdoch, that's a mouthful, Marshall Murdoch, he was the founder and editor of the Wichita City Eagle, which I'm assuming is a newspaper.
It's the newspaper. Still running.
Oh.
The Ick Eagle.
Yes.
Nobody says that.
It's the Ick Eagle. Because it's the same amount of, words and sounds, but it's fine. Okay. Well, he built his home in Wichita And then 100 years later, the home was relocated to Cowtown Museum.
Okay.
So that's where it is right now. The house features basic characteristics of Gothic Revival style, which I could not tell you the difference between Gothic Revival and others. But apparently this was very popular during this time.
I did not study architecture in school.
It was very popular during that time in the late 19th century. It has a steeply pitched gabled roof and hood molds.
Hood molds.
Hood molds over the windows.
Does it?
And it was once the most stylish residence of all. What? It was once one of the most stylish residences in Wichita.
I feel like I got a little of your bedroom voice there talking about this house.
That's my fry.
Your vocal fry.
My extra fries tonight. In Cowtown, it's the most stylish upper middle class home on the museum.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty nice.
We couldn't go upstairs. We could only stay on the first floor.
I was going to say, we could only go in a hallway.
Yeah.
And
everything
look
else was
into
blocked
the
off.
The rooms were sectioned off. You could look in them, but you couldn't go, inside them. So it was like a hallway.
Yeah. I had this recording, and I pretty much said that, well, everything's blocked off. We can only walk in a hallway. And Lindsey goes, there's 3 bedrooms.
I was probably reading a sign somewhere. I like to read signs.
You do, but like just words from, like not the whole thing.
I'm not going to read the whole plaque.
Yeah.
Listen.
You're like, look
I
it
like
up.
to read, okay?
Look it up yourself. I did open the app again, but this was the Spirit Box app, and it gave the words grandfather, temperature, and building. And then a group came in shortly after us, and that area was so small that we really didn't hang out in that building too long. And they were calling out a creepy man. I don't know if you could, like, where are you creepy man?
I don't remember
over and over.
that. We got some hardcores with us.
We were
That's
like,
rude.
I think it's time for us to go.
I did remember catching orbs. I caught quite a few
In
orbs
some of
in
the rooms?
pictures. Yep.
Yeah.
They said that when they were giving the tour of, like, the overview of everything, they said Murdoch House was one of the most haunted places.
They did say that, and I don't know. I beg to differ.
Yeah,
Maybe they have
okay.
great experiences there. I don't know. It was a cool house.
Yeah.
They were all cool.
Definitely.
All right. Next up, we're going to go to the jail. This is my favorite place.
I knew this was coming. I've been dreading this moment since we got back from Cowtown. This part I do remember.
Can I just set it up?
Oh,
Wait,
gosh.
let me redo the history.
Yeah, do the history of the jail first.
The jail was constructed in the summer of 1871 and was used mostly in cases where drunkenness and rowdiness erupted in violence. The small size indicates that it was intended to house short-term prisoners, mostly drunken or rowdy cowboys. Residents protested the choice of the site before it was relocated to Cowtown, claiming that the singing and cursing of the transient boarders was offensive to women. The building is 16 by 18 foot, and the walls are 6 inches thick, and it literally just looks like a square with a roof.
Like, we didn't even go
Nothing
inside
special.
of it.
Nope, we stood outside. Now set it up.
So is this the last place we went?
It is the last place.
It's the last place we went. So we knew what was coming.
Yeah.
And we were dreading it. Lindsey especially.
Because they had talked about it.
It was our favorite thing ever to do. This is pure sarcasm. It was the human pendulum, where like we stand in a circle and sway side to side. And
and just as a fun recap, we did this at Missouri State Pen
and
a year ago.
Yes, that's where we learned all about the human pendulum. It's a running joke how we all hate it. And
purposely ask inappropriate questions.
I just wanted to remind everybody
Gosh.
that Lindsey especially is not a fan
I hate it.
of the human pendulum. And I believe, Sarah, you had this recording?
I sure do. And I, as we begin, Lindsey announces, I feel like I'm in a cult.
Because they're all standing in a circle, swaying back and forth in this grass field in the dark.
Soon, though, Boydston takes over the audio.
Yeah, you took it from me.
I did.
And is calling Lindsey out for being super into the human pendulum.
Because, listen, one time everybody kept getting off and they weren't swaying in the right direction.
Oh, Lord, did you ever get pissed at that? You're like, I don't understand. Nobody is paying attention. Like, everybody's quiet, and Lindsay's hollering at the people across.
She's like, look at the people across from you. Go to the opposite direction. It's not hard.
I was nicer than that.
Not really.
No, you
Not
were.
really. It was like that.
And I was like, left, right.
Yes, you were.
Left, right. And so I led everybody, so everybody was following that. So
Let me just reiterate, though. That was like probably 2 or 3 times
I
that
know.
you did that. It wasn't
so
just
the next time we stopped,
once.
the guy who was leading it
Yeah.
was like, who was calling it out? And he looked at me, and I'm like, oh no. And he goes, you call it out again. And these two are
You
just
loved it.
giggling at me.
You got to boss people around. It was hilarious.
You guys were distracted by the
Like,
cat.
no, left, right.
I just want everybody to be in order.
Then we'd get off, and you go, I don't know how we got off. I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm watching the person across you go, that was the problem. Right there. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know where to look.
I'm so
Who
sorry.
knew Lindsay was so passionate about the human pendulum?
I just want everybody to look nice.
Look nice.
I thought I looked very nice. Thank you.
Anyways, that's what I don't know if we got any evidence. I was too distracted by all that.
We asked lots of questions, and it was someone who killed someone. They said it was like a crime of passion. They said they regretted it. This is all quotations.
So what she's saying, what Lindsay's saying is true. I mean, those questions were asked, but the answers were in the form of a person in the center
Right.
leaning forward or backwards. So we always kind of take these with a grain of salt. So I don't know.
Yes.
I didn't even really write them down because
no.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't.
No,
believe-
I don't believe it.
And for like a
Believe this.
recap for people who, I mean, it's been a year since we've done this. You ask yes or no questions as you're swaying, and it's supposed to do something with the energy. And then you have one
creating
person.
a vortex.
Yes. You have one person in the middle who they will either step forward or step backwards if they feel like to yes or no.
Yes.
So
Right. That's correct.
this person who was in the middle was not. She didn't really take a step. She was kind of just like leaning.
Just barely leaning. And she was like listening to the questions the whole time
Yeah.
too. So like, I don't know.
It wasn't as
It's
exaggerated
fine.
as that Missouri State
No,
pen.
and you said that.
Did I?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
This
like,
is way better.
the lady at
You
Missouri
liked
State
it.
Pen was like almost falling every time a question was asked. And I was like, okay, lady.
Yes, that is true.
The spirits are not pushing you that hard that you're going to fall on your face.
That is true. This lady was not as intense.
Yes.
So it was entertainment.
It was.
I guess this is something that we need to add to our repertoire for when we do our own ghost hunts. We need to make our own human
Oh
pendulum.
my god, just the 3 of us?
Yes. So I guess, okay.
It's going to be 2 of us.
Two of us
One of
around.
us in the middle.
But one has to be the
Left,
catcher.
Right. Sarah. Left.
One has to be the catcher of the person. So just one person sways
Okay.
to garner energy.
Yes.
I'll be the
Sarah's going to be
swayer.
the swayer. I'll catch you, Boydston.
Okay, I'll catch you.
Can 2 of us circle around the other person
Yes.
and sway and like encircle our arms?
You'll
Okay.
be close enough to me that I'm not going to fall.
Okay.
And
We'll
then
try.
when your body goes limp because of the enormous amount of
Because
energy
of the
that's taking
spirits.
over you,
That are like, yeah.
we can just catch you.
Perfect.
Oh,
Right.
gosh.
That'll
Human
be a good
pendulum.
video.
I got a little into it.
Oh,
You
a
loved it
little.
this time. It
That was like the highlight of your night.
It really was. It changed her whole mind on the human pendulum.
I don't even know you anymore.
Boyson literally took the recorder out of my hand so she could
did.
narrate.
It was just so funny, and I loved the audio. And I think you guys should just listen to it to treat yourselves.
You guys are welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
But there was a cat there. We talked about that.
Yes,
That was a highlight of my night.
Yeah.
cute kitty.
You guys were petting the cat.
Indeed. All right, we've only got 2 more locations. Next up, though, we're going to go to the one-room schoolhouse.
Mm.
The Old Cowtown Museum schoolhouse was built in Wichita in 1910. It was moved an unknown number of times to serve as additional classroom space. It reached its last setting at Meridian School in 1950, and when it was no longer used for classes, local donors furnished the building with period desks, books, and maps to create a county school museum in time for the Kansas Centennial of 1961. Following the celebration, administrators recognized that the building would be more accessible to the public on the grounds of Old Cowtown Museum. The Wichita Board of Education donated the school building in 1962. So I also had the pleasure of having this audio.
I had one too.
Did you have the one with the main group? Or didn't go with the main group? I think we just went there twice by ourselves.
Yeah, because remember they were like, you can go to any of these 5 places by yourself.
Yeah.
So I had one, but mine I'm going to go ahead and say was a total wash because the AC was on. You couldn't hear anything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the AC was off and on in mine too. At one time, though, I did hear a humming noise, and none of us called it out. And it was just us 3 in the building at that time.
Yep.
We all mentioned that we felt residual kids' energy in the building, but really nothing active or threatening in any way. I tell Lindsey many times to be cool, Lindsey.
Well, you were... So, to set the stage, she was sitting as the teacher.
I was.
She sat at the teacher's desk at the front and was like, class, all right, calling class to order.
Yeah. Lindsey thought she'd get a reaction by going down the aisles and knocking shit off desks.
Antagonize the children.
Moving books. And she was like, what about now? Does this get your attention? I'm like, Lindsey, be cool. And you're like, what? What? I am being cool. I'm like, that is not cool.
You make it sound like I'm throwing things around. I wasn't that hardcore.
You shoved books off of the desk.
I did. I shoved a book off the desk at one point. But it was a specific desk because I was taking pictures and there was an orb right at that desk. So I went over there and I shoved the book off the desk to see if I could get a reaction.
Right.
To a child.
Well, a different group came in. They were only there for a short time, and they left right after you were shoving books off the desk. And you go, are they mad at me? And I'm like, I don't know, man.
Why do you guys let me
things got crazy?
Probably creeped out. Like, oh, I don't know what they're summoning in there, but...
I channeled my inner Zach.
Zach came out in full force at the schoolhouse, and it was hilarious.
He did. I'm so sorry.
Please don't apologize. It was amazing. I loved it.
Listen, it's either that or the other opposite end of the spectrum is I just sit there and I'm like,
no,
bullshit.
We don't want
this
that.
Is stupid.
No, we don't want that. It was hilarious.
No, I appreciate you getting into it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the only reason why I kept saying that is because there was another group in there, and I'm like, Lindsey, cool, be cool, chill out. And I'm like,
I put everything back, and I did not knock it hard that I would break anything. I wasn't being like that.
I probably wouldn't have said anything if there wasn't another group in there, but then they left anyway, so.
I think we had a debate about presidents, didn't we?
We did.
We did. We talked about
all
our favorite presidents were.
Yes.
Yes, because I said it's our favorite president, and you guys were like, Jackson. Van Buren? I'm like, Lincoln!
Listen, I never said that he was my favorite president.
I meant, like, endearingly. We love Abe. We talk about Abe all the time.
We do.
And you say Van Buren when I say it's our favorite president. I don't even know what Van Buren did.
Is that what I said?
Somebody said Jackson. Somebody said Van Buren because you were thinking
mutton chops. I called out somebody
chops.
for mutton chops. That's what I said.
I said Van Buren.
Yes. I'm like, Van Buren?
He has great mutton chops.
I said another mutton chop candidate.
Jefferson?
I think so.
Jackson.
Yeah. So when I had my recording, like I said, we were doing the spirit box, and there was responses coming in pretty regularly, but I couldn't hear them over the AC.
I did get, at one point, our REM pod went off.
Yeah.
That was the
You
only
remember
time
that?
it went off.
I remember that.
And then right before we wrapped it up, somebody farted. And nobody called it out.
It was me.
I think
No,
she called it
I
now.
thought I told you guys, like, hey, I need to fart. I did earlier in the day.
Hey,
like,
listen,
I was like,
Claire,
I need to
blame
fart.
it. Just blame her, blame the points.
we won't be mad. We won't be mad.
I won't be mad. Just blame her, blaming.
I thought it was a ghost fart. I didn't know.
Just
Thought
owned
I'd
up to us.
I should have left you with that illusion.
I didn't know. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
It reminds me of the time I had to fart and I walked away and you guys still heard it.
You had the recorder.
I don't think about things like
You
that.
can't walk away from yourself.
Well, no. Future me would have heard it. If I walked away from them and I farted and I could hear them both giggling and I'm like, did you hear it?
And then it just wafted through.
Listen, we've gotten too comfortable with each other.
We spent a lot of time together.
We all fart around each other now. It's no big deal.
But that one was particularly funny because it was very quiet. And you didn't call it out either.
Winston.
It was a mystery.
And yet you get mad when we hear a little growl and I say that was Boyd's stomach.
Well, You know,
I distinctly remember being like, guys, I have to fart.
I did not hear it on the recording, but
Listen, I don't remember it, but I was being very aggressive, so.
You were. Lindsay was not listening.
I was not being cool.
be cool, Linz.
Be cool, be cool.
Well, the only other place that we went to was the Hodge House, which
Which one was that one?
was a small little house that was built by Wesley Hodge, an African-American blacksmith.
Yes, I remember now.
He and his family were one of Wichita's first African-American families.
Yes.
And we really didn't spend a lot of time there, but
No.
Abe Lincoln came up again.
The
I
people,
was like, I feel like we just talked in that house.
because
We did.
they had a picture of Abe Lincoln on their fireplace.
Yes.
The people before us had the pendulum.
Yes.
That they hold in one hand, and then they're like kind of, it's wavering over their other hand. And it would swing clockwise or counterclockwise. So they were doing that when we walked in. And it was spinning when we walked in, but.
Well, guys,
We did explore a couple
Yeah.
other places just for fun. Like, we just wanted to go and look in places.
wandered around.
So we wandered.
I absolutely love replicas of old places.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love to just see how people lived back then. So I really enjoyed that. We did go into a bank at one point.
Yes.
We went to a bank. I had that recording. And I was being a Zach as well.
Yes, it was. She went up to the teller windows that had like a plexiglass
Uh-huh.
kind of thing, but she stuck her head past it. She's like, "Can I get some service up here? Anybody
I need to
here?"
deposit my check.
I did. Is anybody back there?
But funny
I'm
thing,
trying to get responses, guys.
we
Well,
got one.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah, there was a bang
Yeah.
back there.
Yep.
And we all we heard it, and then nobody acknowledged it, and then we all, like maybe 10 seconds later, was like, did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
And we did.
So laugh all you want, but sometimes I get some responses because I'm annoying.
No, I'm not saying
the
to
ghost.
not do that. I'm just saying it's really
Hilarious.
funny when you do.
I love it. Don't ever stop.
I'm going to keep calling it out.
It's my favorite.
Don't ever stop.
Don't ever stop. We went to the dress shop, which was
Uh-huh.
super creepy. I thought, like these
Yeah, with the
old
mannequins.
dresses.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird. And
They
then
had
the blacksmith-
everything. Blacksmith
place.
shop.
Yeah.
They had a saddle shop.
Is that where the leather was?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
leather.
They had a woodworking shop. They had like a general
Yeah.
store.
It's like during the day, there's people in these shops that are
Yeah.
like actual doing, blacksmith stuff and
Cool.
woodworking.
Blacksmith
Like,
stuff.
I don't know, stuff with fire and metal, hammering.
Sounds very cool.
So they're doing that like to show you, doing like demonstrations. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a very
Mhm.
neat place to explore, whether you go during the day or at nighttime.
Do you guys want to talk about your TikTok before we go?
Sure.
Yes, we made a TikTok in the streets of Cowtown,
And the only fitting song would have been
Old Town Road.
Old Town Road.
And it all started because we just started doing like what everybody does in like an old Western place.
Like this town's
town ain't
not big enough for
the two
Yes.
of us.
That's exactly what we sounded like too. Like not scary at all.
And then we're like, boys, we should do a TikTok. So she was our artistic director behind this TikTok.
Per usual, which we appreciate because you're
Mhm.
great at that.
Except for the very end, we were like, we're going to surprise you with the second half.
Yeah.
It was so shocking, wasn't it?
It was shocking. I cannot wait for you guys to see
Yeah.
this on our TikTok.
Oh,
It's
It's
so
going to be a
good.
surprise.
Yeah.
People were walking by us and they're like, what are you guys doing? We're like, TikTok.
And then
They
they just
go,
looked at
"Ugh,
okay,
God."
and kept walking.
I'm like, listen, you don't even know me.
Like judge away. Okay.
We average about 200 views on our TikToks.
Why
Thank
you
you.
gonna
We've
say
had
it
a
like
couple
that?
really good ones. Okay.
We went viral on one. Okay.
You know what? Judge us all you want. Just means you're judging us. I don't know.
Judge us all you want. It just means you're judging us. Sick comeback,
I
dude.
could draw no conclusions from what I was going to do.
It was a really good comeback.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Well,
So
We should
all
give
in
it a
all-
rating.
Oh yes, Cowtown. What is it on the Sayre scale?
as far as haunted
Like,
or not haunted.
or not haunted? What are you thinking?
10 on the
Tricky.
coolness. 5. I'm going to
That's
commit 5.
generous. I was going to say like 3.
I'm
She started to say
committing.
3, but she changed.
I'm committing to 5. It gets bonus haunted points for being cool. And
For
also,
sure.
we got a couple of EVPs. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give it points for that.
It wasn't none. It wasn't none.
Yeah.
We did hear bangs. We did hear thuds and
Yeah.
stuff. I did not get any creepy vibes from this place at all.
No.
No, I didn't either. And it was hard for me to connect with any of the buildings
Yeah.
because I kept thinking how they were all relocated.
Yes.
And I think that kind of takes away some of the authenticity of the building a little bit
I
in
get
terms
that.
of haunting. So while they were still very cool to go in and check out, it was hard for me to like, you think it's still the same? Like, why would a ghost want to travel with the building and not like, I don't know. That's just what my head was thinking. So
Yeah.
I agree. Very cool. Glad we went. It's cool to check out.
Not so haunted.
Maybe not so haunted,
Yeah.
but still cool to check out in the dark. And maybe other people will have different experiences.
Definitely.
So check it out for yourself.
And if you've gone there and you've had some really crazy experience, please let us know. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. And we'll be posting pictures so you guys can see all the orbs, because we did capture quite a few orbs there.
Yeah.
So we'll be posting those on our socials so you guys can find those, as always, at thetipsyghost.com, and you can find our socials from there. And then you can always, like Boyson said, send us an email at thetipsyghost@gmail.com.
Please give us a 5-star rating and a great review anywhere you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate it, and it does help.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in this week to our haunted investigation. We will catch you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.